This meeting will now be called to order. First call of business is the emergency evacuation announcement. That has no volume right now. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm may sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles. I would also like to announce at this time that due to personal conflicts, Suzanne Davis had to resign her position from the Audit Committee. So that will be posted by the County Commission, I suppose, to fill that vacancy. So at this time, I will also do the roll call. We have 4 members present, which is a quorum. And at this time, we will have nominations for the election of the chairperson for the Audit Committee. Just push that.
I'd like to nominate Lee Gowan.
Second.
Okay. We do have a motion to nominate Lee Gowan and a set by Amy Paganelli and second by Jared Anderson. Are there any other nominations?
Move nomination C.
Second.
Okay. The motion has been made and seconded for nominations to cease. All in favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I will do a roll call vote for Lee Gowan as chairman of the Audit Committee. Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner French?
Yes.
Mr. Gowan?
I'll abstain.
Okay. And Ms. Paganelli?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Gowan, looks like you are going to serve as our chairman of the Audit Committee. I'll turn it over to you at this time, and let me get your microphone on.
Okay. Our next order of business is the election of a vice chair. Do I hear any nominations from the floor for vice chair?
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Amy.
I'll second.
If you all will give me just 1 minute to get set up in Granicus, we'll get this going electronically. Okay, you made the motion.
I'll move, yes, Amy Paganelli.
And you seconded, Jared.
Move nomination C.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. They've made the motion for nominations to cease, so I'll let you take it from here.
Okay. We need to, I guess we vote, call for the vote.
We can do a voice vote on ceasing nominations.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Voice vote on ceasing nominations.
Vote on the Caesar nomination.
Okay.
Just all in favor.
All in favor, say yes. Yes. Opposed? Okay.
And if you'd like to take an electronic vote on the vice chair.
That's fine. We'll vote on the screen.
Mr. Chairman, there are 3 yes votes and 1 member abstained.
Okay. So Amy Pagnelli is now the vice chairman. Our next order of business is the setting of the agenda. Does everybody have an agenda, or does anybody need an agenda to look at?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
I guess we need to vote on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, there are 4 yes votes.
Okay. Our next matter of business is approval of the May minutes, audit committee minutes from our May 17th meeting. Does everyone have a chance to look at those meetings? Does anyone have any corrections or additions or deletions to the minutes?
Move to approve those minutes, Mr. Chairman.
I second that.
Okay, call for the vote.
Mr. Chairman, there are 4 yes votes.
Okay. Our next matter of business is public input of items on the agenda. Is there anybody here from the public that has any input they would like to input? I see none, so we'll move on. Next matter is old business. I don't remember any further action we were going to take on the audits we looked at. Just to refresh everybody's memory, in May we looked at 911 and the Public Building Authority audits. I don't have any further questions on that unless someone else does.
I do not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I know.
You're good. Ms. Paganelli, did you wish to speak?
No.
Okay.
There being no old business, we'll move to new business. Review of school activity funds audit for the year ended June 30, 2018. And Karen Edwards, a partner with Ingram Overholt and Bean, is here to present that report to us. So I'll let Karen take over.
It's only about 100 pages, so. But most people, when they look at it, they go to the back to see if there's findings or not. I usually look at the front to see what kind of an opinion we had. And we had an unmodified opinion, which is called a clean opinion. And after that, I'll usually go to the back and look at the findings. This year, we had 4 findings, and these are a couple of the schools. They managed to issue a purchase order after somebody's already bought something, because teachers will go out and buy something and then come in and say, I need a purchase order. So they're trying very hard to not do that. Also, another problem the schools have sometimes, they have to mark all their invoices paid with a paid stamp, and sometimes they miss a few. And if they miss too many of them, they're going to get written up, because if they don't mark them all paid, they could be used again. And the other 2 findings we had to do with fundraisers. And fundraisers are kind of tricky because the students go out and collect money, and they may hold it for a while before they turn it in. So they have to get the teachers to say, okay, if you collect money, bring it to me that day, because there is a 3-day law that says you have to have this money turned in 3 days from the time the teacher gets it. So they're working on that. And also in the back, it says what they're doing about rectifying all these 4 findings, that they're going to obtain the proper purchase orders before they go out and buy something. They're going to mark all their invoices paid, and they're going to get their money into the teachers for fundraisers so they don't get written up for that again. And the very last page shows the findings that were cleared up from the prior year. And I think the schools worked hard to get that done. And I think it's been a big help. They have a new program a couple of years ago. It's an online system where I can actually go in and look at things, and Troy can go in and look at things, and it's a very good program. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
Anyone have any questions on the committee? I've got a couple, but I'll hold mine to let anybody else go. I guess it'll be my question. Just to clarify on the fundraisers, there was no money unaccounted for missing, it just got deposited a little bit late. Is that correct?
Right. What the kids were doing, they would go out and take an order for something and get a check from the customer and just hold on to it till they finish getting all their orders. But they're going to do a little different now, so the kids will know once they collect a check, it should be given to the teacher immediately, and they shouldn't hold on to it.
Just for everybody's knowledge, you all, because it takes more than just you to audit this, it's a big audit. You all go to you visit each school, correct?
We do.
Okay. Of course, I'm sure the high schools take longer than the elementary schools.
Yeah, the high schools take a bit longer.
Yeah, because a lot more money goes to the high schools. On our prior year findings, and for the last 2 years on findings, we'd had a couple of issues with booster clubs not getting their financials in on time, and our bank statements in on time. All that was taken care of? I mean,
Yes.
all that was, they were on time this year, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
They have been getting their reports in like they're supposed to.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner French has requested to speak.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your first question sparked a question that I had. On these fundraisers, not all the money is collected beforehand, is it? Some people pay when they order, and then some people pay after the order is delivered to them. Am I correct about that?
There's different types of fundraisers. Some fundraisers require the payment on the front.
Okay.
And there's others where the teacher orders whatever it is, and then the students collect.
I see.
But it was where they were requiring funds up front, and the
They were
students
hanging on to
holding the
them.
money.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Chair, do you?
He's finished.
I know you just had your peer review, and it may be too early. Have you got your peer review report yet for the most current period?
No,
Okay.
and we can't publicize it till we get it.
Huh?
We can't publicize
Understand.
it till we get it.
They're supposed to get it to you within, what, 30 days or something, aren't they? Theoretically?
I expect it'll be pretty soon because they'll be meeting at the TSCPA RAB
Okay.
meeting.
All right. Just when you get that, forward it to me. Or
Okay,
if you'll just forward it to me, I'll forward it to the rest of the people.
okay.
Because, one of our duties is to see that, independence and peer review and all those things, just to.
Who's conducting that?
Huh?
Who's conducting that?
They use another, they're done by another firm. It has to be done by another firm. It's Henderson, Hutchinson, McCullough out of
They're out
Chattanooga.
of Chattanooga.
Okay. And I know that firm. It's probably the biggest firm in Chattanooga or close to
They
it.
have about 120, I think.
Yeah, they're a big firm out of
They
Chattanooga. They did, many years ago when I was in public accounting, they did our peer review. So, it's a fun thing to have every 3 years. We all look forward to those, yes. I can't think of any other, one other question, it's not on the topic of the schools, and then I'll have one more comment. Is the 9/11 audit complete yet?
We're still waiting on some information. As a matter of fact, the director was in there today and said he was going to follow up and see if he couldn't get it.
Okay,
They're waiting on something.
okay. 'Cause I was thinking maybe we would look at it in November if it was done by November 15th. I think that's when we'll meet again, but I'll just check with you later on that.
Okay.
9/11. It has to be done by, theoretically, it has to be done by the end of December, doesn't it? Well, I would like to commend the school systems accounting folks, because I've audited a lot of schools myself in the past, and to only have 4 findings is very good. You know, I don't know I've ever seen one that had 0 findings. If you had 0 findings, I might wonder more about that. But seriously, it's commendable that you only had 4 findings, and they were, in my mind, these are minor findings. They're not as bad as some I've seen.
Well, they have training sessions too. I think that is a big help to them.
Okay. Troy, do you do those training sessions with your bookkeepers?
Do some a little bit. A lot of that's one-on-one. We had at the beginning of the year, we brought
Renee?
Renee Bryson from the state division of local audit. She's on the fraud side.
Yeah.
But she does a lot of training across the state. We brought her in. She didn't just do fraud training, she did just general bookkeeping training in addition to that. She did a really good job.
That's good.
She does.
And you know, I know you always have some turnover. If your turnover's not too bad on the bookkeeping side, that helps too.
It does, but interestingly enough, we had some turnover from the prior year to this past year. So we had some new bookkeepers this year that, fortunately, we hit a home run on all those hires, and they did a really good job.
That's good to hear. It's a difficult job. It's not an easy job, I know.
It's not. We had a hard time filling a couple of those.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay. Thank you for coming, Karen. Thank you, Troy.
Thank
Is there any other new business that we need to talk about, or does anybody have anything else before we adjourn? Yeah. No. Yes, you make a motion. A recommendation.
I would like to make a motion or a recommendation that the Blount County Schools look at doing an RFP to look at auditors.
You'll say that again.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'd like to make a motion that the Blount County Schools put out an RFP to look at not new auditors, but just an RFP to look at what's out there for the audits.
The Blount County Schools put out an RFP for the audit firms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
What?
For June 30, 19.
Oh, for next school, for the June 30, 19 audit. Okay.
Did we get a second?
Commissioner French?
Okay. Any discussion? I call for the vote. Is that right? Did I do that right?
Yeah, but I think we're having, okay, there we go.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, there are 4 yes votes, but I think we are having some internet difficulties right now. But there are 4 yes
Okay.
votes.
We'll just go to pen and paper if we have to.
I've got it, yeah.
Does anyone else have any other new business we want to discuss before we talk about our next meeting? I have one question for Randy, and then I want to set our next meeting, if no one has anything else. How is the county's audit progressing? Blount County's audit progressing?
It is progressing. It is not complete. My guess is it would probably be your January meeting at the earliest before you could review it.
Okay.
There,
Everything going okay so far?
so far, so good. It's just there are new staff people assigned and learning curve.
Understand.
That, and then they also are getting all the pension stuff from TCRS that'll be included. Sometimes that gets them a little bit behind. But I would expect we'll have the report sometime. It's actually been in January the last 2 years before we get the report.
All right. I'm just looking for an update. See, I knew they were progressing. I guess we'll set a time for our next meeting. I think the third Thursday would be November 15th. Is that correct? Somebody got a calendar? Should have a calendar set up. I'm pretty sure the third Thursday is November 15th. At that time, we will probably look at the hospital audit, which I handed out tonight, and perhaps the 911 audit if it's finished by then. And that will be our last meeting for the year. Does that require a motion?
No, if you don't care, we will put that down on the calendar, and we can set the time based on any other meetings that might
Okay.
come up between now and then, but 5 o'clock works okay with all the members if that,
5 or 6, either one's fine.
okay. If we don't have any other meetings, we can schedule it at 6.
Okay.
So, but we will be back in touch with you on that.
Okay. Does anybody have any other thing they need to talk about? Do I have a motion that we,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone, for participating and coming.